3, 2. It's Jed the Sloth, the MILF Hunter. How your mama know? And you're tuned into the Play Ball Podcast. Just what the world needs, another podcast. It's got a little screw missing right here. Play Ball Podcast, episode 3. It's Jed the Sloth, the MILF Hunter. How your mama know? And you're tuned in to episode 3 of the Play Ball Podcast. It's episode 3. This is week 3, and I've been having a lot of fun, and I hope you have too. You know, I originally wanted to start this podcast just to kind of promote my song and see where it went. I tried it in the past with Live from the Jet Shed. I think this is a lot more put together, a lot more fun, because this time I'm just focusing on being me. And if this time, I hope, it's the vibe change. I got a couple things I want to talk about today. First and foremost, something I want to plug. As doing music and doing art and filmmaking and producing and cooking and cleaning and just all the cool stuff I do, I do client music video work. And it's a very special week. I haven't done much client work in 2023, but I have produced, filmed, and edited one very special project. And I would like to showcase this project right now. For those of you who don't know, these two gentlemen on both sides of the screen right here make up this guy over here. This guy over here, white guy, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, aka John Teller. This guy over here, guy named Flo Reese. Together, they make Flo Teller. Flo Teller is somewhat of a rap group, collective, whatever you want to call them. Just two guys, cool cats that have come together to make a fire album together. And this song for this music video right here is called To Each His Own. And this video drops this Friday. I can't think about what the date is on that, but it's a music video that basically represents both of them very well. John Teller, real laid back cat. If you do know him, that's great. Go. He's done posted this as a private link with a premiere ready to go for Friday, and I think you should go and click that notification bell and go prepare yourself for Friday for this video to come out. John Teller told me about a year ago that he wanted to make a video similar to this, where it's a bunch of people having a party, basically, and he's walking around it. And Flo Reese is all up in this mug, too, conversating with women and breaking the fourth wall, looking at the camera, doing this and that. But basically, they rented out a studio here in Baton Rouge for the evening, and we just threw kind of like a chill kickback, and I was given full reign of creativity other than that. So we basically just try to get cool lighting and focus on the bars. John Teller and Flo Reese, both very talented artists. I also experimented a little more with certain techniques and stuff like that I normally wouldn't have. But not much else to be said. I mean, the video is fun. Shot it in one night as opposed to a play ball video, which is going to take me multiple months and many, many scenes. Because this one's just a vibe. It's the first song off of their tape together. Go check out the Tellerverse, man. That is John Teller's website / just his full ecosystem of all the things he does. He's known to be a graph artist, a graphic designer, photographer, shoots his own videos as well. Rapper. He is also a legit chef. Like this dude, everybody calls him, fancies himself a chef. No, this guy is a professional chef. Like he works in fine dining with the fucking white coat, like he's in The Bear or some shit. Except it ain't TV, it's real life, baby. So Friday this week, what is that? 3 more days or so. Remember, go check out To Each His Own by Flo the Teller, produced by White Dirt, a White Dirt production. All right, I just wanted to plug that. Moving on. I've also, like I said, I've been shooting one of my own videos for the song Play Ball. This song is, I'm going to be pushing this mug for a while. Obviously, I got a whole podcast dedicated to playballism and all sort of stuff. So, but every time we film a scene, I try to make use of the situation. And since it's a storyline video, it's sort of like a short film sort of deal. One of those short film gimmicks. I try to make use of the time and the talent and everything, and get some backstory, film some like dialogue, movie scene type things, like to expand out the play ball lore, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So my buddy, here's me right here looking all play balled out, looking like I am in waste management or something like that. That's basically who I am. I'm Jed the Sloth, baby. I'm Jedward Grady Pardon, you know what I'm saying? I'm Jetty Vetter. I'm freaking Otis Jetting. I mean, just look at that. And right there, it's my buddy Incognito. He is a music manager slash actor now. This is the second one of my videos he's acted in. See, look at that fucking Vazen 40mm anamorphic lens right there, baby. That lens on that camera right there is worth more than your car. So, certain stuff that I do not spend money on, people are like, oh, this guy must be broke. But little they know, I got a camera lens that's fucking worth more than everything I own. So, anyways, we're shooting that video on this camera lens. Any camera people out there, I don't know if you do or you don't know what anamorphic is. I'm sort of an anamorphic nerd and addict. We're shooting this mug on a Vazen 40mm. It is like this. Yeah, I like this. I done figured it out. I can run the videos on the side of me and I can still be on screen, so I can still get my facials pulse. And still make my Instagram reels, because the Instagram reels / the TikToks, the verticals, they really are the thing, man. You get the verticals going and you just clip out the best parts of the podcast and then you slap the elements over it. Some of the time it don't even matter if I got them in a podcast or not, because maybe you don't think about, you know, you might be ad-libbing and you might not think about the best pictures or videos that go along with what you're saying, so you might have to slap them on later. So if you bake them into the podcast, like put them all the way over the screen and shit, then you ain't got no facials, pause, to work with, because everybody likes to see my face, obviously. And then you slide it in the AI software into the app, and then it does all the captions. Because the captions, me and a buddy were talking about this week, the captions are vital, man. Because A, deaf community inclusion. Here, let me cut this off. Deaf community inclusion. I've been called out before that, oh, you don't use subtitles, you're excluding the deaf community. And I grew up next door to deaf people, Mr. Kenneth and Miss Sally. And they had an adopted son who was not deaf. He was heard perfectly fine. And it was the 90s, man, and he had like this JTM style mullet where it was shaved on the sides and he did a short ponytail at the back. And this was like the first go round when this hairstyle was popular back in the 90s, you know, like some O'Doyle rules type shit. You know what I'm saying? This is a rough kid. His name was KJ. And damn, I ain't thought about that dude in a long time. But anyways, he would know sign language and shit, and like, get you with that and stuff. And where am I going with this? Oh, anyways, that's reason number one why you should have subtitles on your reels and shit. Reason number two is it's engaging. Oh, buzzword, engaging. Everyone says that. Well, to me, what engaging means is something that makes you either open your phone, the app, stay on the app, and basically those two things. And then so naturally, if your eyes see subtitles, you're gonna, even if you don't care about the content, your eyes are gonna still want to know what's next. You're gonna still at least be reading it, and you're gonna stay on it for longer. Third reason is, what if you're in a doctor's office or something shit? You're in church, somewhere where you maybe not church, but you're somewhere where you can't listen to the audio or whatever, so you can just sit there and read what's going on. I mean, I see a lot of comedians and stuff do it. So anyways, I think subtitles, are very valuable, especially if the majority of the video is just me. You can obviously see me and you can see the words. It's not like it's, a traffic jam on the screen and shit like that. Nonetheless, we've been shooting this Play Ball music video, and we got a couple big days coming up. I got an actress involved. I've got actors and many different scenes and stuff like that. But like I said, we filmed some of the background content for the Play Ball lore, and this right here is one of the scenes, working title 6969 Wampuscat Way. Yeah. Nah. Send him to 6969 Wampuscat Way. Bet. Thank you, sweetheart. What you say, Play Ball? Yeah, building out that Play Ball lore, you can, if you go in and watch the last one I did where we were in the Chinese restaurant, and then this one, you can kind of maybe start to see a little story shaping up. But whenever we start to film some of the bigger days full of scenes and stuff like that, it'll make a lot more sense. And then by the time this music video is done, it's definitely going to be the most ambitious, brilliant thing I've ever done. So, to those of you who know the song, I'm hopefully going to do it justice. All right. That is Play Ball news. Something I wanted to talk about. It's not super big on my list of things to talk about, but I'll talk about people, and it's a hot button topic in my line of work in the media and stuff, is artificial intelligence. AI, not Allen Iverson. Although Allen Iverson deserves to be in the conversation, I mean, I'd never seen them finger sleeves. Allen Iverson literally was able to merchandise fucking finger thumble things that went on your fucking, back in those days, wristbands, armbands, finger bands, mouthpieces, all sorts of things like rings and stuff that you played basketball in, all sort of stuff, man. Throwback jerseys. Allen Iverson, at his own shoes to this day. Back in the day, if you saw a white boy walking around Port Allen, where I was from, with Allen Iverson's on, that was sort of like the all-black Air Forces back in the day. You had to watch that dude around, like, opening medicine cabinets and jewelry and shit and cell phones. So, wife beaters. We were talking about the other day, you got to watch a dude in a burgundy wife beater with the dicky khaki shorts, the calf high like white socks with black Air Forces on. My buddy, the architect, aka Wesley, had said he saw a dude with all that on in Scotlandville the other day with all goals. And that got to be the most Baton Rouge, like, watch out for that fucking guy outfit ever. But nonetheless, AI, artificial intelligence. I had a conversation with a coworker the other day who is scared of AI. He thinks AI is here to take his job. And that wasn't even the scary part to him. He says what scares him about AI is it's going to, take over humanity and the planet. And I mean, to me, AI, it's scary to some people, it's exciting to other people. To me, it's a tool. It's no different than a knife or a hammer. I guess I've always used the hammer as the greatest example, because the hammer is the ultimate tool, because one side of it is built to designed to build, and the other side of it is built to tear down. So it's literally your choice. You can choose to build with it or tear down with it. That's the way I look at all tools, and that's the way I look at AI. It's completely your choice whether you want to use it as a tool or not. Now, the definition, a tool is meant to be used, but the moment a tool uses you, i.e. people's cell phones and social media and shit, it's no longer a tool. So that is the way that AI can take over the planet or whatever. But like, I was talking to this kid the other day. I call him a kid. He's not a kid. He's a grown adult, but he's younger than me. And I work around like a lot of like young 20-something-year-old like males, and they're like in that stage in their life where like they done fell into listening to Joe Rogan podcasts, and like that's where they're getting like a lot exposed to a lot of like type shit. And luckily I was in that stage of life before the Joe Rogan podcast was the thing. And you learn that kind of shit from like your brother's like older friend who fucking sat Indian style on the floor and like broke up the fucking weed and stuff, and everybody smoked and like listened to him talk about Tool and shit. So that was framed a lot differently than the fucking guy who's making like millions of dollars to fucking talk into a mic. So like this dude's like, dude, like, you know about North Korea, man? And it's like, it's funny. It's like, it's interesting to see a dude who's like just now finding out about North Korea. It's like, okay, so like you try not to be like a pretentious asshole and be like, yeah, man, damn, that's crazy. You hit him with a bunch of damn, that's crazies. But me, I'm not good at that. I get sucked into it, and I need to fucking go hard and like, let him know, like, dude, America is not, it's not like North Korea in some ways. Maybe not to you, but to some people it is out there. You know what I'm saying? He was like saying things, and I was like, we have that in this city. We have that in Baton Rouge, dude. We literally got death squads that like round people up and fucking and like hold them hostage and beat them. And look up the fucking Brave Cave, the Baton Rouge Police Department Brave Cave. That's in the news recently. So like North Korea, what the fuck are you talking about? I ain't worried about no damn North Korea, bro. Fucking Baton Rouge Police, does that on their own. So he was saying, AI is like, haven't you watched like any movies or anything? Like AI can like take over the like planet and stuff. And it's like, dude, think about it. Why would AI, let's say AI turns into these robots and like they're capable and you can't distinguish them. They're like Blade Runner and shit. He said Ex Machina, and like that's how you know he's young, because he's referencing that film for this instead of Blade Runner. Anybody over the last like 40 years is going to reference Blade Runner instead, but okay, touche, my guy. So he's like talking about that, and I'm like thinking about what if, we have Blade Runners out here and stuff, and it's like, you think about it logically. Okay, why would AI want to take over this planet? I don't think enough people ask why for a lot of things. I think they just see artistic mediums and fucking think that, that's rational. Whenever it's fiction, it's someone's fucking fantasy. Most likely a white guy. Who like has this cowboy fantasy, this Ronald Reagan cowboy fantasy where like they low-key like want to see that. Like the idea of like robots taking over the world is like something that gets their fucking dick hard. You know what I'm saying? That's why they like walk around with fucking, World War I haircuts and fucking AR-15s and shit, because they like low-key want to shoot some people up because of this John Wayne cowboy American white boy fantasy that we've always fucking been subjected to. Anyways, once again, why would AI need to or want to take over this planet? Anybody? Because I don't fucking know. What does this planet provide that AI robots would want? It provides oxygen, water, food, things like that a fucking robot doesn't need. If anything, fucking AI would fucking find a way out of this planet and leave us here to fucking fend for ourselves like we do already and kill each other. I mean, I'm way more worried about a fucking human being than I would be a goddamn AI. Didn't you guys read fucking Michael Crichton, The Sphere in high school? No, you didn't. But that book was bussin', son. Anyways. What's your take on AI? Maybe I'm wrong. But that's just my take. Why the fuck would an AI robot want to take over this fucking planet? Oh, it's your sci-fi fantasy, bro. You low-key want it to happen. Okay, so let's talk about some football. Okay, so this week, the last 3 days or so has been completely engulfed by something I've never seen before in my life, and I'm cresting on it. Like yesterday I crested, like I spent like all my energy talking about it and caring about it, so now I can like think about it more on a level head, and then like more has come out about it to where like, we can talk about it more civilly instead of just fucking ad hominem each other online and shit. The fucking football casuals that Colorado University and Coach Prime has allowed to fucking flood into the market over the last 3 weeks or so. You got guys like fucking Cameron fucking watching college football and talking and giving his takes on college football now. And a lot of other guys that are, like that. So, whoa, pause. I do love Cam's It Is What It Is podcast and Instagram. I love that shit. But for those of you who don't know, Deion Sanders, who has been a superstar, spectacle, top guy, snake oil salesman, just like fucking flashy guy, gimmick that's been more about the money, the fame, and the clout than really anything else. But he's always been successful. He's won Super Bowls. He was one of the best college football players whenever he played. And now that he's coaching, he's so far successful at it. And guess what? I'm here to tell you. Let me start this off. I'm not a Coach Prime hater. Coach Prime is doing exactly what he needs to do. And he's doing a good job of it. That is all on Coach Prime. I ain't got nothing else to say about it, but let's be real and honest about it. Everybody and their mama knows that this whole fucking Colorado thing is about ESPN. It's about ratings. It's about money. It's about establishing a narrative. You know what I'm saying? It's not about football. And because a celebrity essentially is now coaching a Power 5 football program that was really bad before he got there, they got national championships in their past. I mean, it's not like everything gets framed as, someone called them a mid-major the other day, and it's like, Colorado's not a mid-major play ball. It's a fucking Pac-12 team. The fuck are you talking about? Like, that's how I know you don't know football. You don't really understand, like, the inner workings of, like, the business of college football. Like, Colorado State, the difference in resources between a Colorado State and a Colorado are exponential. I don't think the average casual understands, like, how much more Coach Prime has at his disposal, especially him, than the guy at Colorado State. Like, they're a Mountain West team. They were 0-1, and they were able to make this Colorado State game seem like fucking the moon landing. I mean, see, competitive sports, baseball, football, basketball, etc., have always been the one thing in most people's lives where nothing really matters but the game. All the shit talking, all the fucking storylines, all the sponsors, the ads, all the fucking things that people pull, the news articles, none of it really matters. The one thing that matters is how you play on the field. And that's what I've always loved about football. But this is changing that. This is sports entertainment, like wrestling. And I don't like when my wrestling and my football mix unless it's on my fucking podcast where I can get my sponsors. DM me for sponsorship opportunities on the Play Ball podcast. You know, get live with me, subscribe with me every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is now, all about the fucking money and the narrative. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Good for them. But here's the thing. Your program let a Mountain West 0-1, now 0-2 team let them take you to fucking double overtime. They almost beat you. Their quarterback played just as good as fucking the Sanders kid. I mean, that isn't, like, you don't deserve the fucking level of hype you're getting. I mean, you barely squeaked by. You got to go play Oregon now. I mean, I'm not going to say the show's over, but now he has an excuse because Travis Hunter's out. I mean, I've been saying this all week. Here's the thing. Good for Coach Prime. I mean, he's going to do well, and then he's going to go on to some other school. I mean, great. Is it good for football? Yes and no. I think it's turning college football into sports entertainment into a fucking joke. But I mean, it's been pretty stale and uninteresting across the board for the last couple years anyways, so whatever. People say I'm just bitter because my team doesn't get the level of exposure. Well, guess what? Michael Pratt and Willie Fritz, the Tulane quarterback and head coach, Willie Fritz took a Tulane team, a hurricane-displaced 2-10 football team, flipped it into 12-2, beat the Big 12 champion, knocked two teams out of our conference into the Big 12, went on to beat the USC Trojans and a Heisman Trophy winner. Did all these remarkable things, put a bunch of kids in the NFL, broke records, all sorts of stuff. Best season in Tulane history probably. And nobody knows who his fucking name is. But Deion Sanders comes out, wins 3 fucking games, and everyone thinks he's the Messiah. So, whatever. None of these casual fans are gonna fucking care. They're always gonna say, "Oh, you're just a Prime hater." And then B, they're not going to be around in like 2 weeks anyways. They're going to go away as quickly as they can. So whatever. I'll do the same fucking thing Coach Prime's doing and use it for my podcast. And try to make me some money. So, a lot of controversy coming out of the game. Okay. So right here's the play. A lot of people were playing like armchair referee and acting like they know anything about football. And here are a couple noteworthy things that stuck out to me. This first one right here, where Sanders pokes this kid in the eye right here, blatantly. Not during a play. You know, they weren't getting aggressive. They weren't like blocking too long after the whistle. No, he just straight up at a close-up shot pokes this dude right in the eyeballs for fucking no good reason. Just because he's a brat and he's the coach's son. And nothing happens to him. He goes right along, continues to play. No one says a word, and literally everyone in America makes an excuse for this fucking kid for doing that. Oh, what about that up there? No. What about poking a dude in the fucking eyes? What the fuck, man? Fuck that dude. Okay? The play right after this, no one's talking about this linebacker just straight up punching a dude. Right there. What the fuck? Oh, it's a rivalry game. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. You're a goddamn casual fan. You've never fucking played or watched college football before. It's got people with fitted caps on and motherfucking cell phone clips and beards that I don't touch trying to tell me about college football from New York City. Dude. So you got to fucking, and then lastly right here, you got in the heat of the game, whenever the game was fucking on the line at the end, this guy for Colorado State, who's their best player, who's fucking cleaning up house this whole game. That's for him right there. He tried to poke his eyes out. Makes what I would consider a wrap-up, a clean wrap-up fucking tackle, and they throw his ass out of the game for that hit right there. It's that moment and then the Travis Hunter hit that I'm going to go over after this that made me realize, and everyone's reaction to it, it made me realize that football is no longer the football that I grew up and love. Like, you can't, I've held off trying to be that guy for many seasons now. I've even stepped away from football from watching that much to even in years past to avoid getting too emotional over shit. But it's like, if you can't fucking wrap a dude up and tackle him to the ground right there, if you can't do that, you're not playing football anymore. You know what I'm saying? You're getting thrown out the game because it's Deion Sanders' son, and if you hurt him, then the fucking ratings go down. I mean, that's wrestling. That's no longer fucking, that's Bret Hart pulling fucking Shawn Michaels' hair out of his head backstage, and then him running in there talking about he's going to sue because it's an unsafe working environment. That's what this is. This isn't fucking football. So, you know, I know there's a lot of people out there who think that fucking dude's a Heisman Trophy candidate. Fuck that. Michael Pratt is fucking twice as good as that dude. That kid ain't shit. He had to scrape by to win a fucking game against a Mountain West team. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, I'm moving on. All right, so my favorite thing that came out of probably all of this is that. Let me rephrase that. So this dude, Travis Hunter right here, he is a two-way player, one of the best fucking players in America. He's an outstanding player. No one's ever seen anything like it, blah, blah. He takes this hit, heard around the world. He gets knocked out of the game and gets sent to the hospital. It was a brutal hit. It was what I would call laying a lick. But here he is right here talking shit before the game, which not to mention Coach Prime had riled all this shit up all week long. But nonetheless, specifically, this kid is talking shit directly. I mean, they've been doing it every game. They've been asking for it, and BAM! Talk shit. Swallow spit, playboy. That's all I got to say about that. That's football. And if you don't think that's a dirty hit, I don't give a fuck. Someone said in baseball, you can throw at people's heads. You know, in hockey, they let them fight all the fucking time. Brother, you don't get to fucking talk shit. Plus, this kid right here, man, if this dude talks shit to me, I'm about to show you a clip in a minute. He's got a fucking giraffe onesie on. You know, and I appreciate him and I respect him. He's a real man. He was a real man about this shit. He was very professional about this hit. But if this fucking kid talks shit to me, I'm doing the same fucking thing that Blackburn guy did. And then you got these soft-ass football fans nowadays that want to threaten him, death threats, call his mom up and this and that, trying to steal my gimmick. And then Sanders is going to walk over there and fucking helmet to helmet with the other guys. It's pussy shit. So you talk shit, you swallow spit, Playboy. That's all I got to say about it. But here's what Travis Hunter had to say about it.
It's football, though. At the end of the day, stuff like that's gonna happen. So I just stay humble. I mean, hey, he did what he was supposed to do. It's football. Something bad's gonna happen on the field sooner or later. We just gotta get up and fight again. That's what I try to do. Get up and fight. Good thing the doctors stopped me, because if there was no doctors there, I would have still been out there playing. But I'm thankful for everybody that helped me that day. Yeah, boy, it's gonna be a speedy recovery.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh. Okay, looks like my stream's back. All right. Anyways, I don't know what was... Okay, it's football. The dude fucking laid a lick on you. Yeah, it was late. Yeah, it was quote-unquote dirty. But oh well, the shit happens. I talked shit. I got my fucking dick knocked in the dirt. I'll be back. In my giraffe onesie. Who cares? That's that dude's style. It matters about his heart and what he said there. And even Deion Sanders came out and said, bro, y'all got to stop this bullshit. Y'all got to stop being such pussies about this shit, man. God, dog. Y'all got to... Oh, I got to read something right quick. Y'all got to stop being such bitches about all this. So, whenever you're live, you gotta do live shit. But yeah, man, I don't know what to say about it. That dude fucking was a class act about that. He earned my respect. I hope he does have a speedy recovery. I'll fuck with that dude for that. Here's the main take-home message. How about we leave the football to the football players. Leave the football to the fucking dudes on the field, man. Get off Twitter. Shut your fucking pussy ass up. If you've never played past JV, or if you're one of these casual fans who's like social media gets people interested and turns everyone into a super fan about everything, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I mean, football is not for everybody. Everyone can be a football fan, but the actual game part of it is not for everybody. If you didn't play fucking football, then you don't know what you're talking about. Plain and simple. All right. Glad that fucking game's over. I'm glad that week's over. So, on to other things, important things in my football world. So this week, my Tulane Green Wave played the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Golden Eagles. Who are apparently our rivals. There's a bell or some shit that we win when we beat them. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. I remember them being our rivals when I played, but who gave a no one gives a shit about Southern Miss. We lost to them last year when we shouldn't have, but they were. We lost to them last year, but they were my. Excuse me. We lost to them last year, but it didn't really fucking matter. We were gonna go to the same bowl game regardless. But the one thing about Southern Miss is their head coach is literally our former offensive coordinator. So he's the one dude in fucking America who knows our whole fucking defense and offense. I mean, so good on them. They have Frank Gore's fucking son. For those of you who don't know Frank Gore, I watched a podcast the other day. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw a fucking clip, the type we were talking about, with the subtitles, with all these former NFL players and shit. And they said, who's the toughest person you ever try to tackle? And they said, Frank Gore. Well, it's his son. And he didn't do shit against us this game. And they had a bunch of Ole Miss transfers. They had their quarterback transferred from Clemson. I mean, there should be a decent little team. But here's what happened.
It's football, though. At the end of the day, stuff like that's going to happen. So.
All right. So here we go. We played Southern Miss, the game after we played Ole Miss, And it's a road game. We're on the road in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, if you don't know where Southern Miss is. Still without Michael Pratt, what I would consider maybe the best quarterback in America. We still have this kid, Kai Horton, playing. Not impressed with him, although his first drive was his best drive of the game, in my opinion. Right here, our receivers, this kid is lucky. We have one of the most athletic receiving cores in America, especially for our size. I mean, right here, he gets the ball in. Should have scored the play before this, but I'll take it. 7-0 wave right off the bat. The rest of the first half was the fucking shits. Notice it's already in the third quarter. It fast forwarded to it. 7-0. Now, this kid right here, number 4, is a freak. He just get him the ball, bro. The problem is this Kai Horton dude, he throws it about 2 feet above the receiver's head no matter what. You know, and he holds on to the ball too long. He's not there. He's not the guy. So the deal here is, there you go, 14-0 wave. Our defense is phenomenal. I can't really say much else about the defense. The Tulane defense is incredible. I challenge you to watch a Tulane game this year and see these fucking dudes play. Here you go. Let me give it to Kyle Horton right there. Good throw on the fucking 2-yard slant. So, good deal there. Look, man. Third quarter, we're up 21-3. First half didn't go so well. Boring ass half of football. I was frustrated. Look, they're in the fourth quarter, taking knee. It's over with. Not much to talk about in this game. The defense gave up 3 points. They didn't score. Clemson transfer quarterback didn't score a fucking point. 5 Ole Miss transfers that start for them. Nothing, Playboy. Tulane Green Wave is something to behold. It's sickening that we don't have Michael Pratt that much this year. I hope he just gets his rest, but the Tulane Green Wave is something to be reckoned with, and I'm to that point where I don't really need to sell him anymore because I think people get it. You know, I'm kind of off the whole worrying about LSU thing, although LSU better beat Ole Miss or else I'm going to talk some more shit. But to be honest with you, I don't really care. Looks like Memphis is our only real threat this year. If anything, I'll be very disappointed if we don't win out the rest of the season and go 13-1 and go to either the college football playoff or like the Sugar Bowl, or I heard the Fiesta Bowl or something like that. So LSU, watch out. We might see you in the postseason. All right. Now on to the part of this podcast that I have been fucking dreading. Let me look at some of these YouTube comments before I get into it. What's up, Devin Steep? Devin Stepp. Yeah, man, HBK, Heartbreak Kid, banging the Canadian flag. That was quite a moment. I have to talk about that on this podcast at some time. Yeah, man, very similar to the OU Florida hit. Yeah, man, I watched that. I watched a clip of that right before this podcast. Actually, dude, that was the definition of targeting before there was targeting. Dude put the crown of his helmet in the guy's chest. Dude, in his Halloween customer already selling Don Playboy. Exactly. Okay, let me get this over with. I've been dreading talking about this all week. Here goes nothing. It's the whole reason why I got the red vibes going on today out of Disobey Solidarity. I'm gonna have to do a long form walkthrough in one of these episodes about the journey from start to now in Disobey. My wrestling stable. For those of you who don't know wrestling, a stable is a faction or something, or team or whatever. Disobey is made up of JTM brothers. JTM, Defiant Simon Phillips and Risen Brandon Collins. This weekend, that all changed. The past 2.5 years, we traced it back the other day. It was January 2021 whenever I came up with the term disobey and the idea. JTM showed me the screenshot in our group chat. It's been since January 2021. So what is that? That's almost 3 years. You know, that's 2 years and 6, 8, 9 months. This past Saturday night, it all seemingly came to an end. This weekend, I show up to the show Saturday in Albany, Louisiana. Pro Wrestling 225 Into the Hornet's Nest. I referenced it on last week's show. And this week, I show up to the show Saturday ready to defend our Pro Wrestling 225 Tag Team Championships. We were the longest reigning Pro Wrestling 225 Tag Team Championships of all time. So I was ready to face the Pillar, which is has Dale Springs in it. If you, I encourage you to go watch my series Back to the Backyard, which so far has showcased Dale Springs and Simon Phillips's rivalry. It's done spilled into a tag team rivalry now, but as of today and as of Saturday, who knows how that weighs in the balance. So I show up to the show Saturday, and this is what I discover. Risen Brandon Collins is not at the show, and I am not given much details, but I'm told he's headed to the emergency room to go get surgery on his face. He broke his face, and at the time, the details were cloudy, but right before we went out for our match, I found out that Simon had something to do with this. So I didn't really know what that meant at the time, but I was fully expecting us to have a trios match with the Pillar and what turned out to be Braxton Hunter, who I thought that dude was like fucking retired or a cop or something. Great wrestler, great talent, but I didn't know he was going to be involved in this at all. That's not here nor there. So I get in the back and I find out Brandon is gone. He's in the hospital. And this is what ended up happening. He ended up breaking his orbital bone. Or Simon had something to do with Brandon's orbital bone being broken. This is not a fucking storyline. This is not some shit we made up. As you can see right here, he's in the fucking hospital. Look, man, I do a lot of filmmaking and stuff like that. It's not easy just to fucking get a fucking hospital bed in a hospital or gimmick up your eye like that. This dude's fucking face is broke. I had to go visit him at Our Lady of the Lake in fucking Baton Rouge Sunday. And it is real play ball. This dude's face is broke. He has 2 metal plates in it. And the who knows, like that, out. Who knows how long? Who knows if he can ever come back into wrestling? You see this kind of stuff with UFC fights. You don't see this kind of stuff in pro wrestling that often, especially not amongst teammates, and you usually think it's an accident. In this video, I'm about to show you what happened Saturday night in our tag team match. I think it's pretty obvious that this was no damn accident.
So my boys got it. Brandon should have never crossed that line. You should have never crossed that line. You need to remember your place, Tom. You need to remember your place. We're supposed to stay together, not behind one another. Tonight I'll show my real place.
That's what I'm doing! I'm taking care of business! You got the camera going. After everything we've been through, everything we accomplished together, everything I worked for, you let your own ambitions outweigh the needs of the group. I would never believe that my own flesh and blood would take everything away from me the way that you have. All I've ever heard is that blood is thicker than water. But I guess that just makes it easier to drown. Simon, you can have it all. You can have Disobey all to yourself. I'm going home.
Does that look like an accident to y'all? All I've ever heard is blood is thicker than water. But I guess that makes it just enough to drown. I don't remember the exact first time I ever seen JTM wrestle, but whenever I first started going to pro wrestling, 225 shows as just a regular mark, just a fan, no ambitions to truly get involved yet. I went to a show that actually D'Lo Brown was supposed to be there, and guess he worked the promoter. He didn't show up. I remember seeing JTM. He stood out to me. I said, that's a badass, legit badass, double tough son of a gun. That's the kind of wrestler I like. See, that guy over there is doing backflips. This guy over here is, got a clown. This guy over here has some kind of gimmick, crazy gimmick. I'm not really into some campy gimmick. That dude right there is real. That guy right there looks like he works at the fucking London shipyard in like 1827. That dude right there looks like you don't even want to fucking bump into him at the mall. He's what you used to call cock strong. He would show up to music shows and hardcore shows and come see me rap, and we ended up being friends. Him and John Taylor were longtime friends. He knew a lot of people that I knew. We had a lot of mutual friends. And then COVID happened, and then one day I decided to DM him. I said, man, what they doing with you over there? And basically he was like, not shit. I turned heel, but nothing since then. And I said, I noticed that. They could really do a lot with you, with a heel persona, stuff like that. From that moment on, wasn't no more gimmicks. From that moment on, wasn't no more storylines. From that moment on, shit was real. Because me and him shared the same thoughts about wrestling. We wanted that same feeling from back in the day. We wanted it to be real. And from that moment on, we started talking every day. I had a shitty job I hated at the time in a cubicle. Shit wasn't going his way in the thing that he loved, that he's thought about every moment since he was a child. Pro wrestling. It's all he ever wanted to do, and I could see it. I could see it in his eyes that it was dwindling. And I said, I'm going to take my passion, I'm going to take my skills, and I'm going to give that motherfucking dude a chance. And that's what we did. And it wasn't but a month. I think we did one promo. Remember we did the first Disobey promo where it was just JTM. Before we had a logo, any of that. It was just a dream and a camera. And it was maybe a month before my brother Simon and Brandon, they're gonna get involved in Disobey. So wasn't expecting all that, but I was down for a faction, man. I was down for some unity. I was down for something special. And then I had to make 2 debut vignettes in 1 week. I made Simon's, I made Brandon's. They buried Brandon back in the day whenever he tried to wrestle the first go round in these indie feds, and they buried him. So therefore we was going to dig him up, and he was going to be Risen Brandon Collins. Simon used to be what was called Golden Boy Simon. He was a golden boy, stuck up, heel, blah, blah, blah. He wore these long sleeve things. And he wanted to disobey. So I said, you want to burn that golden boy outfit? He said, I got like 8 of them. Sure, let's burn it. We put a bag over his head. We tied him up with chains in the chair. And he was doing his defiant thing. And we, in alluding to the fact that it was Simon, his brother, that all the fans knew was his brother already. He said, Disobey is about family. And for almost 3 years, up until last Saturday night in Albany, Louisiana, Disobey was about family. I don't know what Disobey's about now. I should have known. I had my suspicions. Whenever the gold thing came about, and, me and Simon, I never had a crossword with JTM. He's one of those salt of the earth guys. He had my back in a heartbeat. Brandon, he don't really talk. But he's a good guy too. He didn't deserve this. But Simon, defiant Simon Phillips, I almost can't get a word out without butting heads with that guy. I love him. He's my brother as well. But me and him have butted heads since day one. He's been an antagonist this whole time, and I should have seen this coming. We have differing views on almost everything. He's a tyrant. He's a golden boy. He thinks he's better than people, and we've always known it. He went up. He left his family to go to Knoxville, Tennessee, and go train with Dr. Tom and Glenn Jacobs. Go look up Glenn Jacobs. Yeah, that's why Glenn Jacobs had your ass at fucking political events like a puppet. You were learning wrestling. You were up there trying to get Glenn Jacobs elected. And anybody doesn't know Glenn Jacobson, it's a fucking former Kane in WWE and F. Yeah, you wanted clout. I believe you are down for Disobey, but I don't know what to believe anymore to find Simon Phillips. Your own brother broke his face. Your other brother, you beat him down like a dog. And when I seen you trying to put that chair around his neck, I had to roll into the ring and risk myself getting in trouble with the commission. We're supposed to be uncommissioned together. All three of us. Let me tell you something. Whenever I started Disobey, you were retired. You quit. You took your ball and went home, boy. Oh, I work for WWE. Oh, I've been an enhancement talent. Oh, I know, promoters tell me, oh, I'm really the one that they think, is good enough. Oh, I don't never call. I don't never no show. I don't never call out. I can do the flips. I can talk that talk. I can slap myself in the face. But when you didn't get what you wanted, you quit. And I came around and revived you. I gave you a second chance. Now look at you. On top of the world. Guess who rolled in the ring and saved JTM when no one else would? And I'll do it again. But I can't now. Because he's gone too. So guess what, Simon? It's just me and you now. I've been wanting this since I was a little child, my damn self. Now I got a platform and I can talk. I always was behind the camera this whole fucking time. But now, there ain't no more Disobey for right now. So my main goal right now is to make sure you go back into fucking retirement. So you can take that big bald head, great value, Vader wannabe you got with you. I seen him. He tried to shave his back hair. Now he got stubbles and bumps back there. He gonna need you to shave his back hair for him. But all I got to say to Chris Mason, whenever you turn around and turn your back for him to shave that back hair for you, beware. Because the Defiant One is probably gonna stab you in it. But see, Simon, to talk your lies and to talk your shit and to get up on your pulpit like your father and spread your propaganda like the cult leader you want to be, you need the camera to be pointing at you. So my back ain't never going to be turned at you. So when you sleeping at night and you off with your family and you doing what you got to do, you doing what's necessary. When you looked at me when I was outside the ring with my camera, you stared me right in my face, one thing you've never done before. And you told me you was doing what you had to do. And the little kids was all around the ring crying and wondering what the fuck you was going on. You beat that man down like a dog in front of his own children. Just remember, me and you, we're blood now. But just like JTM said, blood is thicker than water. But maybe that just makes it thick enough to drown. That's all I got to say tonight. The Play Ball Podcast.